Good morning, guys. It's Jeff from Connecticut Transparency. I want to talk to you guys about something really quick. Situation that I'm going through. When I started this channel, I don't know what it was, 3 months ago. It was probably more to expose bad police officers. Well, I I got a situation going on where we got some dereliction of duty going on big time, like trying to cover up stuff involving my house. So let me give you a quick little background. I'm not going to try and make this too long. I do need your help. It has nothing to do with money, nothing like that. I'm going to put some emails, some phone numbers down below. So let me give you a quick little background. I'm going to try and make it sweet, quick and sweet, probably 20 minutes. If I jump around a little bit, please bear with me. I was involved in a pretty bad motorcycle accident a couple of years ago. I hit my head pretty hard. There's some issues going on, but that's for whatever. So we moved in there. We rent this house out in Canterbury, Connecticut. We moved in here about 10 years ago, a little over 10 years. Everything was pretty good. The house, as far as I could tell, was in, good shape. The problem started probably 6 years ago. One of the neighbors, I'm in a shared well. One of the neighbors' kids got sick due to something being in the well. Of course, my landlord didn't make any of this. Didn't make any of this. Any of us aware over here. At the time, there was 3, 4. There's 6 of us. There's been 6 or 7 of us on this shared well. We drink bottled water, but her kid was getting sick. Obviously, the doctor probably reached out to the health department or whatever, the town, I don't know. And they did a water test, and there was some sort of, I don't know if there was E. coli or coliform or lead. I don't know. That's private information that I can't get to. The girl doesn't live here anymore. So I would say, now I have emails from 4 or 5 years ago that of problems over here with the electrical, with the heating. I've been blown off. So I think it was around November, December. My wife started having some medical problems pop up. Yeah, people get old, medical problems. Well, so I started to do some investigating and stuff. I kind of think that's somewhat what auditors, I guess, do to an extent. I did some FOIA requests. Well, the biggest thing that I found, which is strange, and there's been many complaints filed for his property, I filed one until this happened. Other people drive by, they see junk vehicles everywhere. Canterbury has a strict, I say strict. They got zoning regulations, let's put it that way, that obviously they don't, I guess, enforce them. I don't know, you know how to, so anyway, let me get back to the story. So my wife started having some stuff pop up. So I started doing a little bit more. I did spend a lot of money on some FOIAs for this whole property. He put in an accessory apartment. Keep in mind now that, 5 or 6 years ago there was problems with water. And that's not the first time. Before we moved in, and I found out at a later date, before we moved in, the people that were here before were getting sick. There was E. coli in the water. They took them to court. He lost, obviously. Health department made him put in a UV system downstairs. So anyway, it was pretty good for the first 5 years, 6 years. Then some stuff started to pop up, repairs and stuff like that. Now this guy is he's not a carpenter. He's pretty much a fly-by-night landlord, but he's been, his family's been on this property for probably 50 years, 60 years. So, some problems started popping up. We had to turn our heat up to like 75, 80 degrees to get heat in our bathrooms. And I let a lot of stuff go. We needed a place to live, it is in the country. Canterbury's only got a population of about 5,100. So some stuff started popping up. He'd come over, he would, fix some stuff 5 or 6 times because he didn't fix it right the first time. And God forbid if he would actually hire somebody to do that, because that's money out of his pocket. So when it really started to have problems is like around November, December, like I said. Sorry if I'm jumping around. Not a good public speaker. Probably not I walked into all this stuff, to be honest with you. So in December, she started having some problems. So she has some sort of cyst growing on her hand. Now we shower in this water. We wash our dishes in this water. So I believe it was in January, I started doing some investigating. I got did some FOIA requests for the town. They were all right at the beginning, gave me everything I needed. They approved him, which is on his property, which is about 100 yards, maybe 150 yards. They approved him to let somebody live in a camper. The issue is, one, they don't even care about health issues as far as like he's not hooked up to any septic system. Where's this guy using the bathroom? Well, that one trailer turned into 3. So now you have 3 people living in 3 trailers in the back of his house, about 150 yards. Where's all that waste going? It's not like he had a septic system come over and pump out those trailers on a regular basis. He put up a pole barn about 5 years ago. He put it up in wetlands, okay? And this is what really kind of bothered me, of maybe there's something seriously wrong with this water. So my friends ended up, I say my friends, my neighbors ended up renting a storage area that's the other thing. He has decided to put up storage area, every little nook and cranny, so there's people in and out of here. That's a whole different story. He can do what he wants with his property as long as he doesn't bother me, and it's becoming where he was bothering me. I had concerns about the water. Fell on deaf ears with him. He's going to do what he wants with his property, which is his right, but I still have a right to, live in a somewhat peaceful, I guess, not, have my life flipped upside down. Anyway, he, in all these storage areas, he lied to get approved for, because I have all the paperwork. It's all right here. I don't know, you can see it all, but I have all this stuff and all of it's lies. He says, people only come once a year. BS, they come once a week. So anyway, let me get back to, he put up a pole barn with trailer trucks, all right? The trailer from a trailer truck. Well, in one of the trailers, he had put a mechanical pit, all right? Hey, no big deal. The problem became he put a drain in the bottom of that pit. So say you're changing the oil differential, whatever, you know what I mean? Well, the pole barn was put in wetlands, okay, which is about not even 30 yards from my well. So I'm looking, and I'm looking at this thing and I'm doing some research. People are telling me, hey, that's not right. So I say something. He's like, oh, it's totally legal, all this stuff. So I call up the state of Connecticut DEP, okay? That was, let's see, let me get my paperwork out. March 29th. Told them what was going on, sent them pictures. You can see fluid. I mean, everything I'm telling you is facts. I have all the paperwork to back it up. I have the videos. I have the pictures. There's nothing that I'm telling you right now that is not true. Okay? So I reached out to DEP, let them know what was going on. They said they're going to open up an investigation. I got all the number. I kept checking the website to see if there's been any activity on that complaint. The officer that I talked to said she was going to reach out to the local health department, the town. So I took it as, well, I figured she'd do her job. I mean, we're talking about fluids that could be going into the water well. The other thing was the trailers. Where's that waste going? So probably in the middle of April, I confronted the town. I went to the town and told them my concerns. Now, they've never been too quick to act on anybody else's complaints, whatever. Their excuse is that it takes a lot of money to take somebody to court, blah, 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 blah. So I made them aware of the situation. They came down here. Of course, the landlord said, they didn't find anything wrong and all this crap, which was BS because I FOIA'd all the stuff. He was told to move a lot of these vehicles. He had to move the trailers. He got caught. Well, this is the problem is, now it's been since the middle of April, all right? Supposedly and at the end of April, the health department has been made aware by my friend who lost his job over this because the town got him fired. He's a realtor, all right? And they called up his firm and got him fired because he started questioning what was going on over here. Okay? He went down there. He's a realtor, so he knows a little bit more about zoning. Like I said, I was involved in a bad motorcycle accident. My head's not right. So I didn't know. I just figured I could call the DP and they would take care of this. Well, so my buddy went down there. He recorded it. He started asking questions. I went down there and the first selectman had said, we have nothing to do with this. Well, how do you not have anything to do with this? You're allowing all this stuff. You knew, okay? You knew that he put that mechanical pit in there. You're saying you don't, but I have FOIA paperwork in black and white that somebody signed off for from the zoning officer, okay? They were trying to help me in the beginning, and then I think they realized that what's going on over here is going to put them in a really, really bad light because they've been allowing this stuff. They allowed him to put that one trailer. Now, it's not their fault that he went and put 3, but you let somebody put a trailer on the property. Now, if it wasn't water, if it wasn't any water issues or concerns health-wise, I'd probably just keep my mouth shut and that's it. All right? But it's become where he's not fixing stuff. He put in an accessory apartment with a different well in 21, okay? Because I'm looking at a water test from that well, which is about 40 yards from ours, okay? The first water test was not approved because there was coliform found in the water, which means there's shit in the water. All right? So I went and made the town aware. My buddy went down there and questioned them, like, you're allowing him to do this stuff. How are you telling this guy that you're not responsible? You're saying it's the health department. We'll get into them in a minute. So now all of a sudden the health department's saying they don't have anything to do with this. Okay, they've been aware of this since probably the end of April, middle of April, end of April. My buddy did a video of him down there. Okay, questioning what's going on with this property. Look, we live in a small area. You know, I don't give a shit what anybody says. Excuse my language. I probably shouldn't have swore, but corruption's rampant. Corruption's rampant. And you know, the first selectman, he says that doesn't happen in this office. Well, since we've been investigating all this stuff, okay, and I have proof. Like I said, I have proof of all this stuff. I have black mold in my house. I had the town building inspector did come down here in June at the request of my landlord. Now, I don't know if my landlord thought he was going to come down here and actually give a honest inspection. All right, so they came down here, and I have all this stuff. They came down here. They found a bunch of stuff wrong, electrical. There was a bunch of stuff that got referred back out to the health department. Now, keep that in mind. That report, and they got the email on June 8th. All right? In May, I got a letter from my landlord saying that because I had filed complaints. And I also fell down the stairs, totally sober one night. I've been living here almost 11 years. Come to find out, the stair has a huge crack in it, and the lip of it let go. Okay? So I fell down the stairs. I broke a couple bones in my wrist. I reached out to an attorney. Well, here comes the eviction. Connecticut, you're protected, or you're supposed to be protected. You can't be, your rent can't get raised. You can't be evicted for at least 6 months after the complaint. But here he is trying to evict us. Now, keep in mind, we've never missed rent. We were late once. You know why we were late? Because I was in the hospital after a major, serious motorcycle accident. And he got paid 2 weeks. He got a partial payment, and then 2 weeks later, when I got out of the hospital and I went and got my check and all that, he got his money. All right? So we've never been late other than that one time. This is what's called a retaliatory eviction. Whether the judge sees it that way, I mean, I have a letter from May 19th that said we can stay, we won't get evicted if I drop the lawsuit and I withdraw all my complaints. Well, fast forward to July. All right, now, again, I've reached out to all these state public health, okay, the EPA, the fire marshal. Fast forward to July. So one of the things the building inspector said was the electrical downstairs was messed up. Now, I had mentioned problems with the electrical 5 years ago in an email to him. Now, I have that email, of course. I keep everything. So what I am telling you is 100% true. I'm not making none of this stuff up. Anyway, he put this accessory apartment in. It came up coliform. Sorry, I think I already said that. This is what I mean. I get flustered and I get pissed off about this stuff. You know, we have retained an attorney for the fall, and we have also retained an attorney for the eviction process. Well, actually, my personal injury lawyer helped me get an attorney that was willing to work with us as far as money. Because of the motorcycle accident, at some point, could be in 5 years. I will be getting some money because it wasn't my fault. But anyway, that's for another day. So nobody wants to do anything. They're trying to cover all this up. So anyway, fast forward to July 5th to be exact. All right. My landlord has him and this guy, all right, that used to be an E2. All right. In the building inspector's report, it says that E1 has to do the work. A licensed E1 in Connecticut. So they go down there. So me and my buddy go online, find out his E2 license is lapsed. Okay. So they start doing all sorts of electrical work. Of course, I had proof. I had my cameras down there. I had posted on my Facebook. So, needless to say, they screwed up all the electrical. We had to actually have the fire department out here the middle of July because my wife went to plug in something into one of these downstairs outlets and sparks started shooting out. So we called the fire department. We lost an outlet in the kitchen, leaving us with one working outlet. Well, actually there's two, but one's for the refrigerator. Okay. So we only have one working. Connecticut says you have to have two working outlets in every. So there's another complaint filed. Don't get me wrong. We have an attorney that's filing complaints as well. So now the cover up begins, or they're trying to. I have too much. We had a water test done in the beginning of July. All right. The pH level was way, way down, which means that it's not good. Even though we drink bottled water, we still have to bathe in that. Usually when the pH level's down, according to what they told me, that's a sign of heavy metals heavy metals in the water. Now the health department they sent that report over to them. No word, nothing. I filed some FOIA requests a couple of weeks ago with the town. The correspondence between the building inspector and the landlord, nothing. The lawyer, don't get me wrong, my lawyer's working. It's a concern that when the fire department came over here, they said, do not plug anything else in. Okay? That's not plugged in. Because there's serious electrical issues that it's not up to code. People are going to say, oh, why didn't you just move? Well, I've worked a month and a half in the last 22 months, okay? A month and a half. And I've been medically out of work. My wife is disabled. I'm not asking for money. This is what I'm asking from you guys. Okay? In the description, I'm going to put the town of Canterbury's phone number, the email, the first selectman email, all right? I'm going to put the fire marshal's email. I'm going to put the building inspector's email or phone number. You guys could just reach out and ask them why, and the health department, of course, too, why they have not come out here after a bad water test, after the fire department coming here saying stuff's not up to code, don't plug anything in. If you guys just can comment, share, I'm hoping that maybe a bigger channel will, pick this up, maybe reach out to me. I know Josh from AFA did something probably 6 months ago with a lady in Burrowville that the town wasn't helping her. Her place was in a wreck. The other thing is, again, people say, well, why don't you just move? Why should I move for a bad landlord that's not taking care of the property? My buddy called the local health department yesterday, matter of fact, and they shut him down. They stonewalled him. They said there's some new law that they can't tell him anything. And all he asked about was what happens with a low pH level. Okay? This is what's going on. They're trying to cover this up and protect this guy. I'm not the one. I'm not the one. They know that. I'm not stopping. I've been, in contact with my attorney, my eviction attorney, saying, hey, because the landlord's attorney didn't know all this other stuff was going on. He didn't know. My landlord didn't tell him that I had filed a complaint. He didn't tell him that there was problems over here. And this guy's come over here. He was working with no permit. Okay? Unlicensed electrician. And I caught him. And then, of course, I called the town out on it. All right? The building, like I said, I had a building inspector. They came out and they referred a bunch of stuff. No heat. We have a mouse infestation, wasps, which all falls under Connecticut state statutes on the landlord. All right? Like I said, the bathroom heats, we got to turn up to 80. There's radiators not working. I put up with a lot of stuff. I didn't say a lot of stuff. And now I'm tired of it. It's sad that these people that we pay for our taxes, whether it be the town, the health department, even state DEP, state health department is very aware of this situation. My local representative's aware of this stuff. Nobody wants to help. So I'm asking you guys to help me. Maybe send an email. Say, hey, why haven't you gone to this property and investigated all this stuff? None of this stuff I'm not making it up, dude. I'm not making it up, guys. I have paperwork. I have FOIA, everything. I have a bad water test. I have reports from the building inspector. I have it. They're trying to cover up for this guy because they're going to get caught out for allowing him. There's no accountability. And that's one of the reasons why I started a channel, because I wanted, whether it was, the police, a state agency, a town agency, whatever, to be held accountable for their not doing their jobs. And that's what's going on. Does it really need to come to lawsuits? Maybe. For them to get up off their ass and do their job. It costs everybody money, and it doesn't hurt the town because it comes out of the taxpayers' money. That's the sad thing. But maybe you guys, a couple of you, I got 100 and a little bit over 100 subscribers. And I appreciate you guys. I know I don't get out a lot. This has just consumed me mentally, everything. I'm obviously a little nervous to leave the house because I have animals. You don't know who knows when this place is going to burn down and nobody wants to help. No fire marshal. Again, I had the fire department out here. So all this stuff's documented. I have it all. I have proof of it all. My buddy has proof. He lost his job over this. He lost his job. If you can imagine, that's how devious. This is how bad the town is trying to cover this stuff up. The problem is I have too much evidence, and they don't like that. But they have no accountability for this guy. So it's becoming where you don't want to take him to court. Well, then I guess I'm going to have to take you guys to court for dereliction of duties, especially when it starts becoming health issues. I mind my own business over here. We don't have guests. We have, we just keep to ourselves, for the most part. I'm friendly. I try to be friendly with my neighbors. It's just frustrating, guys, really. So in the description, I'm going to leave some phone numbers. Anybody can reach out to me at ConnecticutTransparency@gmail.com. If you're doubting my story, all right, I'll send you whatever you need to show you that this is all legit, dude, and nobody's helping. After months and months, again, this place is a fire trap. The fire marshal should be over here. He doesn't even want to deal with it. He says, "Oh, I don't deal with single-family homes." So what you're telling me is the place can be not up to code and all this, and have problems, and you're not in a place. What are we gonna do? Wait till the place burns down and then say, oh, maybe we should have went over there, or somebody's really gonna get sick because this is a shared well. All right. You know, I can't believe the health department hasn't forced him, or the town hasn't forced him to do a full water test. Now, we did a pretty good water test, and it cost us fucking, excuse the language, $500 out of our pocket. $500. Will we get that money back? Probably not, unless we sue my landlord, which, I don't know, that's probably going to have to happen. You know, he's going to get sued for the fall anyway, but, you know, it's just sad that we pay these people our tax money. I don't care. I have a vehicle, or my wife has vehicles. We have vehicles. We pay property taxes, or motor vehicle taxes. We do a lot of shopping in town. It's not a big town, but, you know, we do to go to our local Cumberland Farms, which has to pay taxes to the town. So don't try and say, oh, well, you're just a renter, because that was my landlord. You're just a renter. You don't have any say in town. Well, when it comes to my health and my wife's health, it does. And she's going to a rheumatologist in September. That's the earliest they could get her in. And I hope to God, I really hope to God that they don't find that all of this stuff that's popping up is due to environmental stuff. Again, we don't drink the water, but we do have to bathe in it. And we do have to wash our dishes and stuff like that. Anyway, we're at about 32 minutes. You know, if you guys could just send an email, whatever, maybe share it, send it to a bigger channel that's willing to help us. I know the power of the people's out there. I've seen it happen before. You know, I'm not asking for money. You know, not that we have a lot, obviously, but I could care less about the money. I'm just asking you guys to maybe send an email, make a phone call. I'm going to leave all the descriptions and everybody in the bottom in the description. It's a real sad situation. We're protecting a bad landlord, and I have proof of all this stuff. And nobody's helping. No health department, no state. It's sad that we're probably going to have to file lawsuits against all these people to get help. Anyway, I'll keep you updated. Hopefully, maybe I'll get out this week, next week, doing an audit somewhere. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you on the next one.